Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Here we are with another Vlogtober. Today I think will be a little bit of a shorter video. I'm always trying to tone down the amount of time I spend on these because I know sometimes people would like to watch a video about something they're interested in, but they don't want to spend a whole lot of time. But I tend to get rambly, as you know. So, like I'm doing now. Today we'll keep it brief. I thought this would be fun. So I thought we would kind of have a showdown of the white ink pens. I like using, I like using like a white type ink to outline something. Oftentimes in my Bible journaling, I might do, say, well, like I did here. This is an acrylic paint, but it is a metallic one. So I don't know if it's going to work in the same way. But say I had something, gosh, my throat just won't clear. If I did, say, a flower on my page and I wanted to outline that and make it pop a little bit, I might use a white marker. Or when I'm journaling in my traveler's notebooks, and I'm using a craft paper as my writing thing, oftentimes I like to write with, I'm trying to find one behind me here. We'll just use the back cover of this one. But it's kind of like a page like this. So you can write on it with regular ink, but the white kind of makes it pop a little bit too. So I enjoy using white pens for that purpose. So originally, when I kind of started doing more of the decorative journaling, journaling and then like adding highlights and stuff, I bought these Posca pens. This came in a set of 3, so it's like a large, medium, and a finer tip. I'm kind of looking at it on here and seeing if anything on the label indicates which is which, although you can tell by the size, of course, that this is going to be a wider one. And then one thing that's become quite a favorite of mine is the, here I go again, upside down, Uniball Signo. This is a nice white markery type pen. And then I bought a pack of these just yesterday when I was at Joann. No, it was Hobby Lobby, the Jelly Roll. Gosh, I'm going to drive y'all crazy and myself with this froggy throat. So let's just see which we like. I am wondering if I have a better insert to use than the one in front of me. So I should have grabbed it and I didn't. So let's just use what we have. So here I have a green construction paper. This is probably going to be super glary, and I didn't think about that when I painted it. I just used what was handy. But we'll see. We'll see if the white works on there and on the blue. And this is just my next weekly B6 Slim planner for my folio, which I'll need next month. We'll write on that and see how the craft type paper works with these. Sometimes with these Posca pens, it seems like they need a minute. These are like a paint marker. Of course, it's not going to help to do it on white paper. Okay, got a scrap here. Let's just get it going. You kind of have to prime it a little bit. Okay, so let's just say, we'll just call them inks. I realize it might be a variation of if it's a paint or an ink, but let's just say inks. So I'm just going to call this the Fine. And I feel like it's still a little bit scratchy, but it has been sitting a while. And typically if I do an acrylic flower or scenery or something, say in a journaling Bible, this works really well for outlining it. As long as I have the paint or ink like flowing well. I need to test it elsewhere and really get a good flow, because as you can see, it sometimes starts to fade. But when it's writing boldly, it holds its own. It's a good bright pop to the page. Let's try it on here And I hope I'm not blinding you with this copper. That was really a bad idea. But let's just draw like something on the copper paint here. Okay, so that works really well. But how is the glare? Let me move it up here. There you go. So it can definitely ride on the acrylic. This is a metallic finish. I don't know if it will change on maybe more of a matte finish. It might kind of absorb it a little bit more. Okay, now that one started up more readily. White ink test. It's not doing real great on the construction paper. My guess is that it's absorbing because it's more of a porous type paper. I think this is the medium. So, I mean, we could keep going over it. But I kind of feel like if you do that too much, you're losing your line definition. If you just need a big bold line, though, that wouldn't be bad. Just priming this off to the side. I've got a big inky mess. There we go. White ink test. I don't think too many of us are probably writing on construction paper is the thing. So this may not even be all that beneficial, but we'll try. Let's see. Which one? We need to try those on here. The larger and the medium on here. Let's do that real quick before I move over to the Uniball. So it definitely likes this kind of surface better. Yeah, that's really fun. That works really fun. It flows nicely. Let's try the medium. Let's do a couple of hearts. We can sneak those in here. So yeah, I think like the color is really working much better on this paint. And we'll do the craft paper in just a minute. Let's get through this first. Let's see how this one shows up. This is the, I forget what I have in hand. Well, I wasn't wanting to write it all. There we go. This is really doing pretty good. White ink. I know it's not ink per se, but I'm getting a little skippy there because I am hurrying, but I think that's working okay. Uniball Signo, white ink test. I don't know if I want to put anything else in there. I use this all the time. I usually have this in my Speckled Fawns Traveler's Notebook, the one I have all decked out for fall, because for a while, like up until, no, actually I still do. I still have a craft paper that I'm using in there. In fact, I think I will pause this in just a minute and grab that, because that'll be a little bit better representation than using this cover. This Uniball is working nicely on this copper paint too, but like I said, I probably should have done a matte finish. Most of my matte color type inks are paints, are downstairs, and I do this upstairs, and I just get kind of tired of lazy is a better word. I don't want to run down and get a new paint, so I just use what I had on hand. But you can see that this Uniball one really writes quite well. These are the thinner lines here. That works well on the paint. Okay, and last but not least, let's wait. Okay, this is the one I just used. Can never hold it the right way. My natural way of wanting to show that, because I'm left-handed, always seems like I have it upside down. That time I actually had it right. Okay, let's turn this so I don't get ink all over my hands. And let's try the, again, this is the jelly roll. This is supposed to be just white. Make sure it didn't have a little ball on the end there. Okay, let me get it started off to the side. I'm just using a green scrap paper there. Jelly Roll pen. I'm not liking this quite as well, but again, it is the construction paper. But actually, as I look at it closer, it's really writing pretty smoothly. There's a little bit of skipping here with the Uniball. Could be the construction paper, could just be the pen. This had a little bit of a rough start, but it seems to be working well. I just think maybe the comparison is that this is a little bit more of a bold white, and this is maybe a little less bold, maybe a little finer of a line, but a little bit more consistent in the writing. Let's try something here. Wow. I like to doodle, but when you want to think of something, you can't. So we'll just go back to the flower. I have a daughter getting married in a week. I have mentioned that, and I made her wedding a guest book, and I bought a package of the Uniball pens for people to write in her book, as well as like black fine tip Sharpies. So I thought this would be a good little test to see if I wanted to switch out the kind of pen. But see, I think this is working okay. But it's just finer. It's slightly finer than this. This comes out, I want to say more of a wet flow. This is more fine. Let me pause. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some actual craft paper designed for writing, and let's do the test on that. Okay, here we are. So this is the kind of paper I'm talking about. It comes in various insert sizes, and in the back I test pens often anyway to see how a particular fountain pen might look on the craft paper. So that seems like a good place to do our quick little pen test. Quick, right? Let's work our way back up from the opposite of what I started out with. Okay, let's do the Jelly Roll. Just do a Jelly Roll pen test. That is writing really well. It has a little bit of a scratchy feel, of course, because of this kind of paper, but it looks like it did a real consistent flow of ink or paint or whatever is in there. And then, gosh, this is the Uniball. Of course, I need to get it at a good angle so I can actually write. Okay, again, what I've been saying seems to be holding true, is that the Uniball pen has a bolder, wetter line. This comes out more fine, but both of them seem to be writing fairly consistently, as far as like no skips or things like that, or real blotchy. I think if I was just like writing to be journaling, I might like the Jelly Roll better. But I still think that I would prefer this to highlighting some of the art in my journals, if you want to call it art. But like, let me grab a book up here real quick. I'll just grab this pile. In this, or on this cover, I've made various ink dots. I like to add that accent, and even on this one too. They got a little smudgy here because I didn't wait till they were dry. But that kind of decorative touch, I think I would prefer the Uniball because it's a little bit bolder and brighter. But for just a lot of writing, I kind of feel like the Jelly Roll one, this one, would be easier to read overall. It's not as thick of a line, so it might be a little less tendency to kind of be blotchy. Here is the, I'll actually grab the medium, but let's try the, let's see, Posca. Paint pen test. This goes on, to me, looking almost more like a chalk writing. It's more transparent. and it's a drier effect. So I definitely would not journal with this. This was the medium. Started in a very random order there. It goes on looking pretty wet and white, but then as it dries, excuse me again, it appears to be kind of seeping into this more porous paper. Now I know there's some black paper inserts that I think would be really fun. I thought about ordering one. I haven't tried one yet, and I believe I've seen them on Paper Penguin Co. on Etsy and possibly Yellow Paper House. I'm sure other vendors sell them too, but I think writing with a white pen on that black paper could be really a fun effect, and I may order one of those yet just for a little different journaling experience. That's why I bought the craft inserts originally. I just liked that look. It's kind of maybe vintagey or something, antique-y feel. I don't know. I do like it. This one is just kind of in a little bit of a kind of a devotional book. You can see how the white can really pop on there. But anyway, I'm losing my train of thought. I guess I was saying this paper is fun for trying this kind of color. Like you couldn't do a white on white, but it shows up nicely on a brown or possibly the black paper. So let's try the fine point. Now I almost like this finer one better than the medium. Again, I think it would be good for art in a journal or a journal cover, or you're highlighting something, maybe making a cloud in a little picture, or you just want to outline something to kind of make it pop off the page, or you're writing on a dark page. I think this fine one would work pretty well, but for everyday journaling, I would definitely pick the Jelly Roll or the Uniball. And I think for more artsy effects, I would almost prefer, not prefer, but these would be a better pen for that. This is a big, bold line. A little bit harder to, you know, do fine lines or precise things with that. But again, coloring a big area on a page, that would be really nice. And it's seeming to go down with a little more bold, bright white effect. So we have that. This is probably really the most effective test for me. How is it going to look on the craft paper? I would imagine that the the black pages inserts, it would have a similar effect. I don't have one to test it, so it's kind of why I picked this green. I do like how the white pops on that, and this might be really good for a December daily. If you do a December daily, basically a little journal entry for every day of December in kind of a festive or commemorative way is how I have been doing December dailies. Anyway, this would be really neat. That white with the green for the Christmas time, I think would be really pretty. And then here's the glare. I'll try to hold it at an angle. It looks pretty cool on this copper paint. If you're interested, I bought this folk art copper. It's number 6305 at Joann's the other day. I was looking for a copper paint to do flower girl baskets for the wedding. I ended up getting a spray paint that worked fine, but I bought this because I do like copper effects on things. Thought I might use it in some journaling as well. So I think they all kind of have their own strong points. Big boulder line, that's a tongue twister. Try that 5 times as fast as you can. Big boulder lines. With the Posca, this one, the big one. But if you want more precision and fine work, I think the Uniball or Jelly Roll pen is your best bet. But again, personal preference, and it depends on what you are doing with your white inks. So there, I will cut that off there. We'll be back tomorrow with another Vlogtober. Hope you're enjoying these. Thanks for all of you who've taken the time to comment. I enjoy reading your comments and getting your input. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.